Hello everyone, welcome to the Gravity Stats channel. In today's video, we will take a deep and detailed look at the Venezuelan economy in 2025. We will talk about Venezuela's population, capital city, currency, GDP, GDP per capita, inflation, oil reserves, oil production in barrels, key economic sectors, trade, challenges, and future opportunities. Venezuela is one of the most controversial economies in the world, a country with enormous natural wealth, yet struggling with long-lasting economic crises. Let's begin. Country overview. Venezuela, officially known as the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, is located in northern South America, bordering Colombia, Brazil, and Guyana, with access to the Caribbean Sea. Capital city, Caracas. Largest city, Caracas. Population, 2025, approximately 28.5 million people. Currency, Venezuelan Bolivar, VES, official language, Spanish. Political system, Presidential Republic. Venezuela was once one of the richest countries in Latin America, largely due to oil wealth. However, decades of economic mismanagement, political instability, corruption, and international sanctions have deeply affected the country. Economic background. Before the 1980s, Venezuela enjoyed high living standards, fueled by oil exports. Oil revenue funded social programs, infrastructure, and imports. However, heavy dependence on oil, combined with weak institutions and poor diversification, made the economy extremely vulnerable. When oil prices collapsed and political instability increased, the economy entered a severe crisis. Economic system. Venezuela operates a state-controlled mixed economy, where the government plays a dominant role, especially in oil, energy, and major industries. Price controls, currency controls, and nationalizations have historically discouraged private investment and reduced productivity. GDP and economic size. As of 2025, nominal GDP, approximately $80-85 billion United States dollars. Venezuela's GDP is much smaller than it was in the early 2010s, when it exceeded $300 billion USD. Economic growth in 2025 is weak and unstable, with estimates ranging from 0% to 1% growth, depending on oil output and inflation trends. Short-term growth sometimes appears in quarterly data, but long-term recovery remains fragile. GDP per capita. GDP per capita, 2025, around $3,000 to $4,000 United States dollars. This is one of the lowest GDP per capita levels in South America, reflecting reduced purchasing power and lower living standards. On a PPP basis, GDP per capita is higher, but still far below regional peers like Colombia, Brazil, or Chile. Inflation and currency crisis. Inflation is one of Venezuela's biggest economic problems. After years of hyperinflation, inflation slowed in 2023-2024 but rose again in 2025. Inflation remains very high, weakening salaries and savings. The Venezuelan bolivar continues to lose value against the US dollar. Dollarization is widespread. Many transactions are done in USD rather than the local currency. This situation severely affects households and businesses. Oil industry, the core of Venezuela's economy. Oil reserves. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. Proven oil reserves, approximately 303 billion barrels. This places Venezuela ahead of Saudi Arabia and Iran in terms of reserves. Oil production. Despite massive reserves, production is low. Oil production, 2025, around 900,000 to 1.1 million barrels per day. At its peak in the late 1990s, Venezuela produced over 3 million barrels per day. The decline is due to aging infrastructure, lack of investment, sanctions, mismanagement of the state oil company PDVSA. Oil exports. Oil accounts for over 90% of export revenues. Exports mainly go to China, India, United States, Limited, via special licenses. Oil revenues remain essential for government finances and foreign currency inflows. Other economic sectors. Agriculture. Agriculture has declined significantly but still includes corn, rice, coffee, sugar. Domestic production is insufficient, making Venezuela heavily dependent on food imports. Manufacturing. Manufacturing has shrunk due to shortages of raw materials. Electricity issues. Capital controls. Some small-scale production exists, but output remains limited. Mining. Venezuela has large reserves of gold, iron ore, bauxite. Mining has potential but is poorly regulated and underdeveloped. Services. The service sector includes retail, telecommunications, Informal trade. A large portion of the economy now operates informally. Trade and investment. Venezuela's trade is restricted by sanctions. Weak investor confidence. Limited access to international finance. Foreign direct investment, FDI, remains very low. Some foreign companies operate under special agreements, mainly in oil and energy. Public debt and government finance. Public finances depend heavily on oil revenue. Budget deficits are large. The government relies on money creation. Public services are underfunded. Debt restructuring remains unresolved, limiting access to global capital markets. Social and human impact. Poverty. A large part of the population lives in poverty. Migration. Over 7 million Venezuelans have left the country over the past decade, one of the largest migration crises in modern history. Living standards. Low wages. High food prices. Limited healthcare access. Remittances from abroad are critical for many families. Strengths and opportunities. Despite challenges, Venezuela has major potential, largest oil reserves globally. Strategic geographic location. Young population. Natural resources beyond oil. If political stability improves and reforms are implemented, Venezuela could recover gradually. Future outlook. For sustainable recovery, Venezuela needs oil sector investment, currency stabilization, institutional reforms, private sector participation, international reintegration. Without these, growth will remain weak and unstable. Conclusion. In conclusion, Venezuela's economy in 2025 is defined by huge natural wealth but deep structural problems. Oil remains the backbone of the economy, yet production is far below potential. Inflation, weak currency, low investment, and social challenges continue to limit growth. However, with reforms and stability, Venezuela could once again become a major economic player in Latin America. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep economic analysis, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications for more global economy videos on Gravity Stats.